Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Vaughn Radio.
This is Vaughn Radio, and it's time for Liftoff.
T-minus
10, 9, 8, 7. Countdown with me, folks.
5,
Let's do
4,
it.
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
go.
0. Ignition.
Come on.
Liftoff.
Let's go. Let's go.
30 minutes after the hour.
Come on, baby.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. It's the show. Let's go.
That's right, amigos. It's the show with no name, exclusively on Vaughn Radio. The best place to learn English, whether it's through our Vaughn Radio app, or maybe you're one of our students attending one of our many courses. We've got courses and options for everybody in the family. Summer camps, summer intensives, Vaughn Town, online courses, group classes, one-to-one classes, master's program. What do you want to learn? What's your goal? What's your level? Give us a call. We'll give you a free consultation. Get a free level test. Hey, I would do it just to find out your level. One of our professionals will help you, but they'll also put you to the test. And I know that you guys love it when I put you to the test. And not just me, but Ximena, all of us here on Vaughn, we put you to the test. So give us a shout. Give us a holler. It is Vaughn Radio, folks, Vaughn Radio. And you can go get information at our website, grupovaughn.com, or you can just check out our Vaughn Tienda if what you're looking for is materials. But either way, I urge you to check out those websites. I also urge you to follow us on social media. And if you're following us on social media, well, then you'll know this. This coming Wednesday, no, this is not tomorrow, the following Wednesday. So let me check my calendar. Hey, I usually have my calendar open over here, but for some reason I didn't today. Let's see. The next Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Again, I know you love being put to the test, but the next Vaughn Radio Trivia Night is coming up July 5th. July 5th, which is also International Bikini Day. Wow. You know how I know that? Because of FYI, my podcast. Yep. There's an episode on bikinis. I think it was like the 3rd or the 4th episode. Check it out, folks. It's FYI. Again, you've got so many amazing resources, free resources. And if you want to really, really drive it home, rematarlo, well, then you can also sign up for one of our courses, pick up some of our materials, and really, really, really take your English to the next level. And then when you attend our free events, our trivia nights, our book launches, and our anniversary parties, you'll be able to show off. You'll show us that amazing English that you have. And so many of you did that at the book fair. By the way, I know it was a couple weeks ago, but really, it was amazing to hear, not just see you guys, but to hear you guys speaking English. And even though some of you might have made a few mistakes, you were confident. You felt like you felt comfortable in the language. And as your teacher, that's my goal. Okay, is my goal perfection? Is that my goal in my life? For myself? You know me. No. My goal is if I do the best I can do every day, I can go to bed happy. I can go to bed feeling satisfied, like I gave, como decimos que somos un poco exagerados, los guiris, I gave 110%. And I know you guys do. You give 110% in all our sections, in all our challenges, every day on the show with no name. And speaking of challenges, it's time for our first challenge of the day, our pop quiz. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Pop quiz. Let's go, go, go. Pop quiz. Come on, pop quiz. Let's go, let's go. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. It's our pop quiz on the show with no name, and I hope you guys are ready to learn. I hope you're ready for some challenges. This challenge comes straight es como decimos, out of. It comes straight out of my first book, English Everywhere, which is, I'm sure many of you have it. Many of you are familiar with it. It is a book that has 30 chapters. I take you to 30 different places in this book, from restaurants to hiking in the mountains to a visit to the dentist to cooking, the body, school, supermarket. I mean, I think it's a very useful book, and it's my first book. So just imagine that. The first chance I had to write a book, and this was it. And now I've got 5 books. So this challenge is coming from my first book. If you have it, you can even follow along. It's the chapter 37, At a Wedding, en una boda. And I figured, why not? It's wedding season right now, isn't it? All right, well, here we go. Here's your challenge. It's page 305 if you have English Everywhere. If you don't have it, it's chock full of idiomatic expressions, common mistakes, things that you need to know. Plus, it's super practical. You can't get a more practical book than this. Look at it. It's huge if you're watching the live stream. So, amigos, here's your translation. Al final fue una boda de penalti. I like what you call it in Spanish. It's a funny name in Spanish. I think it's funnier in English. So, al final fue una boda de penalti. Let's see if you guys know that one. It's from my first book, English Everywhere. And don't forget, my latest book is out. You know it. This book is the shit.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip. Sorber.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
Y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available everywhere. Let's check in with our amigos, Fichat. We'll check in with our amigos in the chat room. Oh, and a couple things. Like, you just heard the word chompers. To chomp, 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 chomp. You know where you can see that word in context? You know the movie Something About Mary? Algo pasa con Mary. I know Chris Valrol. I know you know it. Our movie queen. I mean, it's one of my favorite flicks. I've got to be honest. And there's a scene where she's joking around with the guy, and she goes, "You know, I love big chompers. Me encanta unos dientudos, ¿no? Dientes muy grandes." And since he's spying on her, espiándole, he decides to go to the dentist or the orthodontist. I don't know. And he gets these huge chompers put in, and they say the word a couple times in the movie. Also, the word click, you do it all day with your mouse, con el ratón, but also to click es hacer buenas migas. We clicked. Piensa los clics, cuando hay compenetración, conectan. We clicked. And also, click has another meaning. These are very useful meanings, too. I couldn't find a solution. And then it clicked. ¿Ves? Solo del contexto lo has pillado, creo. Y se me vino. No, everything made sense. I had an aha moment. I had a eureka moment. All right. I had a, magical moment. This magic moment. All right, so check out the book. Check out all my books. Check out all our materials at Vaughn. Really, they all have the Vaughn seal of approval. All right, let's go on over to our virtual classroom and see who's with us and ready to rock. All aboard. All right, front row center. I think he's in the cockpit. He is at the helm. A los mandos, ladies and gentlemen. He's the farthest away. El más lejano. But he was the first one here. So that's why Capitan, well, you say Comandante Diego Alonso, in the house, at the helm, in the left seat, right? Because the right seat is the first officer or the co-pilot. Oh, Dad, you're going to love this week's FYI episodes. I did one with my dad on aviation. If you haven't heard it, I think you'll love it because you can hear our love of aviation. And this one I did on airports, specifically the history of airports, some of the coolest things you can find at airports, fun facts. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And I did it for the same reason I did this pop quiz. It's wedding season. It's summertime. People are starting to travel. So I figured we could brush up on, repasar, we could brush up on this vocabulary. So we've got Captain Diego, Comandante Don Diego Alonso at the helm. And he says, "Good morning, Alberto, friends and family. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. What's up, Dad, welcome aboard. There's Born to Iron Man. And he says, good morning, Alberto, Don Diego, and friends. What's up, Born to Iron Man? It's always an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Laura, there she is. She says, good morning, gorgeous show with no namers. Hey, Laura, I was curious. I wanted to know what you thought about the Mafia episode of FYI. Remember last week, we looked at the Mafia, the mob. Really interesting stuff. Well, as an Italian, I'm Italian to Sicilian, in fact. So, I tried not to glorify it or, because there's a faction of the Italian population, the Italian-American population, I should say, that's like, I don't want to be associated with the Sopranos or the Mafia. I'm a normal Christian, God-fearing person. You know what I mean? Which I get it. Nobody wants to be stereotyped or pigeonholed, encasillado. But I was curious, Laura, to see if you liked how I handled the topic. Not just because of the, Italians getting offended, but you're talking about violent things. And you don't want people's stomachs to turn. But you want to tell the story, right? So, who else is on board? There's Chris Valrol. I said your name moments ago. She said, hi there. Morning, Alberto, Don Diego, and mates. What up, what up, what up? Vero says, morning, beautiful. You should, wait, let me fix that for you, Vero. Morning, beautifuls. No, todos. Let's see. Who else is ready to rock? Born to... Oh, no, I just read that comment. Then Vero says, show with no namers, warriors around the universe. What's up, Vero? There's Kubla. What's up, buddy? He says, good morning, adorable pals. In the end, it was a shotgun wedding. Nice job, Kubla. It was a shotgun wedding. That was the translation. Fue una boda de penalti. A shotgun wedding. This is when you get somebody pregnant. Or another way to say it, a very native way to say it. When you knock somebody up. Come on, knocking on heaven's door. When you knock somebody up and then you're like, oh no, should we, And back in the day, I guess, down in the South, down in Alabama, Louisiana, and down past the Mason-Dixon line, you get my daughter pregnant, you're marrying her, boy. You're going to church. You're going to sit there in church with us every Sunday. And then you're going to make us lunch. You're going to go out and hunt for us. And we call it a shotgun wedding. Why? You will marry my daughter, boy. You done it. You done it. You're going to marry that girl, boy. So in the end, it was a shotgun wedding. Recently, my wife and I celebrated our 7th anniversary. Magical. Crazy. It's amazing. The 7th anniversary married. We've been together longer than that. And wow, so much has happened, We have a daughter now. We've created this little thing. I don't mean my daughter, this little thing, this little cosi, this little world. And you guys are a part of it. And I think that's special too, that my students are so much more than just my students. You guys are part of my family too. I know that you're happy for me when I do well and when I don't feel well, you guys are there for me. So to quote Bon Jovi, I'll be there for you. These 5 words I swear to you. When you breathe, I want to be the air for you. I'll be there for you. Thank you. No, that's not for my singing. Thanks for being there for me. Oh, and of course. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your life's a joke, you're broke, your love lies the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. Sing it. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too. All right. So great job. Also, Vero, in the end, it was a shotgun wedding. Nice job, Vero. Kubla as well. Chris Valrol, you got it as well. It was a shotgun wedding. Laura says, eventually, it was a shotgun wedding. A la larga, yeah, eventually. In the end, is al final, and eventually is a la larga similar. Let's see. Leonardo's in the house. Leonardo's in the house. And he says, hello, friends. Here is a huge milker. Today I'm getting on this ride. Let's enjoy the journey. Well, hold on tight because we are about to take off. As we say, takeoff is imminent. Chris says, this word, shotgun, sounded familiar to me, but not related to this meaning. But a book called Shotgun. Oh, maybe. It also looks like, if you take out the T, it looks like a Japanese shogun. The shogun, right? The ninja masters. A shogun with a shotgun. Careful. Although I think they use samurai swords. So yeah, I mean, it's a common word. Oh, and also it means, by the way, if you say this word in English, in American English, I think in British too, I don't know. You'd have to ask Rob. But when we say shotgun, it means me pido el asiento de adelante. So if you're not driving, you say shotgun, or I called shotgun, to call shotgun. And that means me pido el asiento de adelante. And this comes from back in the day with the covered wagons and the horses. One person would be at the helm, las riendas. That person would be the captain, the pilot, if you want to compare it to modern day. And the other person would be there for protection. Like, you know, if there were any Indians or cowboys, you know, rebels, outlaws down there out in the wild, wild west. That's right. Let's see. Kubla says, you can make that southern drawl. You can do it. Suena mejor. You can do it. Tú sabes hacerlo, replicarlo. Well, thanks a lot there, Kubla. I really appreciate that. You really are a swell guy, man. We're going to sit down and have some tea, some sweet tea. Les encanta eso. Eso es Nestea. We call it iced tea in the north, but they call it sweet tea. Sweet tea. I'm going to have sweet tea. There's Laura. Speaking of sweeties, sweetie, sweet tea. We're always playing with words. She says, I haven't been able to listen to it yet. I'll let you know as soon as I do. I'm really curious to see how you handled the subject. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was Elvis. That's another episode of FYI. Let's see. Leo says, a shotgun wedding shouldn't be a white wedding. As Billy Idol would say, hey, nice job, dude. Did anybody else get that reference? Hey, little sister shotgun. Hey, little sister shotgun. It's a nice day for a white wedding. Billy Idol. Leo, I got you. It's a nice day to start again. It's a nice day for a white wedding. Hey, little sister shotgun. Leo, you got it, dude. Wow. Laura says, congratulations on your 7th wedding anniversary. It's a milestone. Great word there. Un marcador, una hazaña. Absolutely. Absolutely. especially these days. When things are not working, people just replace them these days. But really, what did our grandparents do? They tried to make things work, right? They wouldn't take that old radio and throw it out and say, "I'll just get the next one, the iRadio 7." Para ponerlo en el contexto de hoy. They said, "Okay, well, I'm going to get a hanger, una percha, and I'm going to fix that antenna. That's what I'm going to do. And that radio is going to last me another 20 years, as long as it lasts." That's the way to do it, I think. I always look towards our grandparents and those generations. I feel like they knew what they were doing instinctively. They weren't even trying. They do it instinctively. All right, folks, we need to go to a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the Show with No Name. We're here with you on Vaughn Radio every single day, teaching you English and having fun. I mean, I think you can tell, se nota, you can tell that you guys aren't the only ones having fun. I mean, we love what we do. And part of the reason we love what we do is thanks to you guys. Seriously, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I think I can speak for all of us, guys. I wasn't just blowing smoke up your ass. ¿Qué? ¿Soplando humo por mi culo? Yes, como halagándote falsamente. Seriously, you guys have seen me go through so many changes, being a single guy. People like Vero, some of you, you know who you are. You've been here and you've seen the evolution, and I've seen your evolution, not just as English speakers, but as people. So I like to think here at Vaughn, it's more than just an English company or a radio station or a master's program or a bookshop. It's a family. And as I said, this weekend I went to a concert with some of my friends who I've known for almost 20 years. And I met them through Vaughn. So join the family. Remember, you can get more information at our website, grupovaughn.com. And I always urge you to follow us on social media. All right, are you guys ready for a challenge? It's time for Say What? Say what? What? What soundbite? Say What soundbite. The Say What soundbite on the show with no name. All right, is everybody ready? Does everybody have a pen handy? A mano? Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and get ready to jot this down. I think it's going to be a relatively easy one today, but we shall see. Veremos. Is everybody ready? All right, this is the Say What soundbite for the first time.
Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted, keys. Here are my keys. Here's my American Express card. Here's my Bloomingdale's credit card. Here's my checkbook. I've taken $2,000 out of our savings account because that's what I had in the bank when we first got married.
All right, there you go, folks. We were just talking about marriage. I heard something about that in there. And we were talking about shotgun weddings, right? Hey, little sister shotgun. Hey, Leo, you did that. Not that song. It's not a bad song, but it's going to be stuck in my head all day. All right, let's see, folks. I'll give you a minute just to soak that in a little bit, to let it sink in, otra forma de decirlo. And I'll play it for you a second time. And then I want to hear what you heard in your best English. I want you to sum it up for us nicely. Everybody ready? Here we go.
Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted, keys. Here are my keys. Here's my American Express card. Here's my Bloomingdale's credit card. Here's my checkbook. I've taken $2,000 out of our savings account because that's what I had in the bank when we first got married.
All right, there you go, amigos. Let's talk. Let's chat. Remember, you can join us live every day, but even if you're not live, you can still participate in the sections. Believe me, I know. Students such as Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol, I have seen both of them participating on days where I was in Barcelona, or either I was on a business trip or I was sick that day. So just because I take a day off, which isn't very often, doesn't mean you should. You guys should hit it hard every day, because maybe it's the perfect day for you to learn something. You're in the right frame of mind. You know, you got some time, but it's not a live show. Again, it's always a live show, because I never stop and say, oh, okay, let's do that again. Like, you hear everything. You know, you hear me and see me with all my bumps and bruises. Con todos mis chinchones y moratones, right? It's raw. Okay, let's see who's participating. Kubla says, I did listen to that Cosa Nostra episode. I couldn't stop listening to it. Very engaging. Thank you, Kubla. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, as I said, it's hard not to make that interesting, because those are interesting stories. Okay, they're gruesome. Sangrientos, no. They're gruesome, but they're interesting stories, right? Chris says, indeed, it's Shogun. Yeah, could be, you don't see that T, the Shogun. Okay, let's see. Kubla says, you sound and look like an exemplary hubby, dad, buddy, worker. Keep up the great work. Well, Kubla, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's hard. You wear a lot of different hats in life, as many of you know, and I told you yesterday. I've been, in the process of moving for the last month, really preparing everything. A move is not one day, right? We all know that. Cada persona que ha cambiado de casa. So we've been preparing for months for this move. And like I said, if you could just do that, then that would be great, because you just put all your energy into that. But I know you guys need your daily dose of Show with No Name. I know FYI has to come out every Friday. Well, on Wednesday, if you're in my community. So thank you. It's hard. I'm not always exemplary. I do what I can. As I said, if I go to bed every night thinking I gave it my best shot, then I feel good. Let's see. Kubla says about the Say What soundbite. I heard a sore American girl dumping her hubby. So sore, great word there. Let's give him a totally native. I heard a sore American girl dumping her hubby. That's in this book is the shit. Dejar alguien to dumping her hubby, short for husband, and withdrawing some money from their common checking account to settle some of the score. Excellent job, Kubla. You're already on the right track. Wonderful, dude. Wonderful. Great vocabulary. And you got it. You got it. Leo says, oh, it's so sad. I think a wife is saying goodbye to her husband and leaves him the keys, the Amex, las llaves, the Amex, which is American Express card, and only takes $2,000, which is what they had when they first got married. Wow. Very specific. You really got some key information there. Excellent job, fellas. It's fellows, pero decimos fellas en inglés americano. Chris says, I heard a woman who is not very happy. I assume she's talking to her significant other. She's leaving him. I imagine she's fed up. Chris, you sound like a native. Great job. All of you. Seriously. As your teacher, I couldn't be prouder. Let's see. Laura, I heard an American lady breaking the news to her husband. She's leaving him. And she's leaving her keys and cards. But she's taking $2,000 out of their checking account as she is entitled to it. Wow. Tiene derecho a ello. Entitled to it. Wow. Guys, unfreaking believable. When I said to you, tell me in your best English, you were paying attention. You really are giving it to me in your best English. I am extremely proud of all of you. You're making progress here. Leaps and bounds. Pegando botes, ¿no? En saltos enormes. Leaps and bounds. All right, well, wonderful job, everybody. But now it's time to move on. That's right, because we've got a tricky section. One of the toughest sections we deal with every day. You know it. It's your cue the robotic voice. Spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's our spelling bee only on the show with no name. And let's take a look at what we've got planned for you today. I think this one's going to be pretty easy. I think you guys will definitely be able to handle it, knowing your level, knowing your expertise. And the word expertise in Spanish is pericia. Maybe is that the word? Your expertise. Pienso, tu ser experto en algo. Makes sense. Expertise. All right, here we go with our spelling bee. Don't fret if you don't get it on the first go. Don't fret is the same as don't worry. You will have two chances. The first time is the lightning round. These will be capitalized, by the way. Okay, con mayúscula. They are proper nouns. Here we go. I need to prepare as well. The first one is King apostrophe S space CROSS space ST space PANCRAS. The second one is VICTORIA. The third one is OXFORD space CIRCUS. The fourth one is LONDON space BRIDGE. The fifth one is WATERLOO. And the last one is STRATFORD. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And perhaps I can give you a little clue over here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the British Isles. More importantly, welcome to London, one of the greatest cities in the world. We have world-class museums. We have the Thames River that runs right through the city. One of the most powerful financial centers in the world, in the city of London. The finest theater you can imagine at the West End. And some of the greatest gastronomy known to man. Fish and chips, which is not our national dish. Our national dish is curry, mate. Curry. Comen más curry que fish and chips. Well, have you guessed it? Kubla, you're on the right track, but remember the exercise is a spelling bee. So, what I'm expecting is that you give me all 6 of these locations. Anyone? Anyone? Going once. Going twice. All right, it looks like nobody got it on the first go. Oh, what a pity, what a shame. I thought someone was going to get it, but I guess it was very tough. All right, well, guess what? I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to do it with a British accent. Oh, interesting. Born to Iron Man says, I think you cannot read our answers. Oh, no, I've got no comments here. So are we being censored? For real? For real es muy americano. Me he colado un for real ahí. Es que hay ciertas cosas que no suenan bien con acento británico. Like, awesome. Their word is brilliant. We say awesome. And when an American goes, it's brilliant, mate, it sounds weird. I'm telling you, you know? So I guess you guys are trying to answer, but you've been censored. Sorry about that. There's not much I can do there. Just tell you that YouTube is the worst. Because you can't talk about subway stops in London. Not allowed to talk about subway stops, guys. Dangerous stuff. 1984. Oh, my goodness. All right, here's round 2. The first one, and as I said, I'm going to do it with a British accent. The first one is, are you ready? It is KING apostrophe S space CROSS space ST space PANCRAS. The second one is VICTORIA. The third one is OXFORD space CIRCUS. The fourth one is LONDON space BRIDGE. The fifth one is WATERLOO. And the last one is STRATFORD. All right, my amigos, there you go. Those are all stops on the London Underground. In fact, they are the busiest stops on the London Underground. And just a quick reminder, There's no FYI episode on the London Underground on the tube, but there is one on the New York City subway system. All aboard. This essential engine tirelessly lugs the masses around New York City in an intricate, ever-growing network. It keeps the city's commuters moving constantly, and it never closes. It's open 24/7, 365. Next stop, FYI. Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Get ready to ride the New York City subway with us on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
En inglés.
You got it. That's right, amigos. If you want to ride the New York City subway, or as we call it, the train. Yeah, the train. It's the train. I'm going to catch a train, the L train. If you want to ride the New York City subway, make sure you listen to those episodes of FYI. But today we're looking at the London Underground, or the Tube. I've heard many British people say the Tube. The Tube. Are you going on the Tube? Yes, I am going on the Tube. So lovely. Oh, and Chris, I see that you've been on the Tube before. Well, you know the expression they use in the Tube. They say, mind the gap. No, ojo. My favorite is the Spanish one. Por favor, ten cuidado de no introducir el pie entre el coche y andén. And the only thing that comes to my mind is, hi, foot, platform, foot. Because in English, introduce, presentar. Hey, I always get a kick out of it. Siempre me río con ello. So mind the gap. Do you know the one they say in the New York City subway? Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Stand clear of the closing doors. Que no te pongas en medio, que van a cerrar las puertas. So that's a typical one you'll hear. And the most important thing is, if you don't understand any of the announcements in the subway, we're all in the same boat. New Yorkers don't understand it either. They're like, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Brooklyn-bound J train. You're stopping on the alternate side platforms on the express train. You're like, okay, well, I'm just as lost as I was before. Like, you might as well just save the announcements, So excellent stuff, guys. Now, there's one thing I got to be honest. I don't know about the too many subways around the world, but I know that the New York City subway has, like Madrid, plastic seats. So you can literally go in there with a hose, a power washer, a presión, and just clean the crap off of that. Todo el mugre, all that dirt and grunge that gets on there. But the ones in England, although very comfortable, they've got a nice cushion for your ass. Got a lovely cushion for your ass. However, I can imagine the boys coming back from Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea play, and I can imagine the boys, passing gas and farting up the pillows after so many beers. So where does that go? Yes, it stays there. So from a board of health, Sanidad, no, Board of Health es los que vienen y dicen, te vamos a cerrar el sitio. From a Board of Health standpoint, the New York City subway trains are cleaner, right? Inside the cars. However, the New York City subway is a place where you can see rats as big as cats. I am not joking. Dad, if you're here, can you confirm? And the general aroma, I'll use that word, the general aroma in the air is urine, orina. Now, the New York City subway is very convenient. You can go really far. It's open 24 hours a day, and you can even go to the beach from the New York City subway to Coney Island and a lot of really cool places. But it's, it is what it is. But at least we don't have cushions full of beer farts. I'm telling you, it grossed me out. Me dio repelús. All right, let's take a look at these stations. Again, these are the busiest ones, the busiest London Underground stations as far as entries and exits. So entradas y salidas. I imagine it's the same. You go in, you got to come out, right? I imagine. Well, that's another thing. Not always. In New York, I know there was a period, and there probably still are people who are these subway dwellers. They live in the tunnels. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but the thing is, it's been seen many times before, and unfortunately, it's not just the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that are down there in the sewer and the tunnels. So King's Cross Street, Pancras. Okay, St. Pancras or Street? I don't know. ST. Let me see. I don't know what that is. Is that street or? Okay, yeah. So it's King's Cross and St. Pancras International. It is smack dab in the center of London, mate. And in the year 2021, around 37, I'm rounding it up, estimando hacia arriba, about 37 million people entered and exited that station. Number 2 on our list is Victoria Station. It's also known as London Victoria. And it is another one that is highly trafficked with about 33.5 million entries and exits. The third one, Oxford Circus. Oxford Circus is just under Victoria with about 33 million. Then you've got London Bridge, which is interesting. London Bridge, a lot of Americans don't know this. Silly Americans. London Bridge is not the pretty one. London Bridge is quite ugly. It's Tower Bridge. That's the pretty one. Tower, que tiene los torres. In my whole life, I said, oh, London Bridge. It's not London Bridge. It's Tower Bridge. So interesting there. London Bridge. And, we know it from the song, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. And London Bridge sees around 31 million commuters in 2021. Then you've got Waterloo, which sees around 30 million, and Stratford, which sees around 29 million. Thank you so much for joining me on this little trip to lovely London. Right now, we're going to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the second half of today's show. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Yeah. Don't forget, we've got amazing programs all day long. You can kick off your day with the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. You got Fits and No Excuses. You've got this crazy, wacky guy on the show with no name. Then you've got Ximena Holiday and Test Your English. After that, you've got the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy, best buddies. After that, you're going to get back to basics with Tash Pasqua, followed by Jules Linares. And let's get random. Then you've got a history date, a date with destiny, with the one and only Guy Williams and his program, Western Civilization. Followed by the multifaceted Dave Boys and his tour de force, The Salad. And don't forget, you can wrap up your day with Kyle Miller and his program, Drive Time, where you'll be challenged every day. And speaking of challenges, it's time for our first challenge in the second half of the show. I can't believe it. Guys, time is really flying by. It's time for Homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. Welcome to Homophones, where we look at tricky words in English and we demystify these words as if they were magical words. We'll demystify these words and we'll see first if you're familiar with the words. All right, the first word is an injury. It's usually an injury caused by a weapon. Okay. Also, what else? It is the verb to injure or to hurt. It can also mean to hurt somebody emotionally, right? So, what else? Yeah, I think that's the first word that covers it. So it's herida in Spanish. Herida, daño. Herir a, dañar a, lastimar a. Okay? So that would be the first word that I want in today's homophones. To injure somebody, to hurt somebody, an injury. Acuérdate que cuando usamos el artículo ahí es an injury. La N se une con el vocal. It's an owl. It's not an owl, un búho, it's an owl, an ambulance. Entonces, muy importante conectarlas. Cuando es un an, así, right? An injury. ¿Ves? Y eso así con todas. So if you can find that pattern and work on that aloud, you'll pronounce that perfectly. You're just basically imitating what I do. You guys are just saying in the comments, wow, you really are good at, doing voices. Yeah, but that helps you. That's why when people say, oh man, pronuncias bastante bien en español, I'm like, well, I'm copying you. I'm imitating you. I'm playing a role here. I mean, I'm trying to be myself, obviously. So the first word, herida. Herir a alguien, lastimar a alguien. Okay. And the second word is enrollado. Okay. Enrollado. So I'm thinking of un alambre, like a wire, or I'm thinking about a hose, una manguera. No, anything that's kind of coiled es otra forma de decir esto. Coiled, like a snake, coils. But there's another way. Enrollado, bobinado, devanado. I'm learning some words there. So what are those two words? And do they sound exactly the same or not? And in the meantime, we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite for the third time. I think it's very doable today, so I urge you all to participate.
Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted, keys. Here are my keys. Here's my American Express card. Here's my Bloomingdale's credit card. Here's my checkbook. I've taken $2,000 out of our savings account because that's what I had in the bank when we first got married.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go. That is your Say What soundbite for the third time. You're going to hear that one more time. And wait a second. The name isn't right, but that's all right, Kubla. It's kind of cut off a little bit. But the rest looks perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kubla. Oh, wait, there's one word that's wrong, but it's a tough one. It's not limitless. You said the word limitless there. It's not limitless. It's the name of a big store. So it would be if you had una tarjeta del Corte Inglés. So it's the name of like a big shopping center, a big one of these stores that they offer their own credit card. So it's a proper noun, Kubla. Very, very difficult. But see if you can get it. It's not limitless. I don't expect you guys to know it. Let's put it that way. And I don't even think, in fact, this store is out of business, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but excellent job. All right, let's see what you guys got for our homophones over here. Let's see. Kubla says, you're a master reproducing accents. Well, as I said, I've been doing it since I was a kid with my dad, with the tele-evangelists on TV. So it's in my blood, and it's helped me with languages. You know, when somebody teaches me something like in Russian or something, I'm like, oh, I can say that. Wow, interesting. They're like, that sounded pretty good. And also, I love music. So if you put all that together, I'm always listening to how things sound, not just the words. I don't, you know what I mean? The words are one thing and the sounds are another thing. As I just said, it's not an owl, it's an owl, an owl, an owl. It's not an ambulance, it's an ambulance, an ambulance. See? Practice it. Get a list. You can find it on the internet. Put English nouns that start with a vowel. Y también los que empiezan con H, algunos. It's an honor. Esa es otra. It's an honor. It's an honor. An honor. Suena como honor. Es rarísimo. Pero es así. That's what we're talking about imitating. That's exactly what you have to do. And the more ridiculous it sounds, the better you're probably pronouncing it. Why? It should feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know, you shouldn't be like, oh, man. Because if you are speaking like you are speaking in Spanish, then your mouth is not going to do very many different things. But now, if you're trying to speak in a different way, just your tone. I notice my tone changes. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hey, how's it going? Totally different tone. Same idea. It's beautiful. But that's what makes this stuff fascinating, isn't it? Vero says, he's an actor, Kubla. He knows his stuff. Yeah, and I've been doing it before I studied acting. I've been fascinated with the way people sound and music and sounds in general. So thank you guys. Kubla says, yes, a natural born showman. Thank you. Branding AA in English teacher is clearly an understatement. All right, guys, you're going to make me blush. Voy a sonrojar. Kubla says, Mr. Zuckerberg didn't seem to take too kindly to have us discuss shotgun weddings on a live stream. No, because I saw those comments. It was the subway stations, ¿cómo se llama? The tube stations that they, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me, except there's something fishy going on over there at YouTube. Yeah, they've been banning a lot of stuff lately. YouTube doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for you. You know, don't burn books. You know what? You know the ones who are burning books, right? Okay, right? Okay. Vero says Vaughn teachers are the creme de la creme. Oh, guys, seriously, I'm really gonna blush over here. All right, let's take a look. Kubla taking a stab at our homophones. He says it's and they aren't homophones. All right. Laura says the words are and they are not homophones. So wait a second. Two super show with no namers are telling me that these words are not homophones. Really? And only two people we've got quite a few people participating here, but only two took a stab at it. And speaking of taking a stab at it, give it up for Laura. Laura, oh my God. You got the person's name and you got the name of the store. So perfection, 100%. Laura, my grandfather would be proud. My grandfather was a perfectionist. He believed that if you could get perfection, then that was perfection. You know, if you could, and everybody knows it doesn't exist, but he existed. He insisted that it existed. I should be a rapper. Speaking of doing different accents, you know what I'm saying? All right. So excellent job. Wow, Laura, you really nailed it. All right, but let's figure out the homophones here. All right, I'm going to give you both words as I always do. The first word is wound. Okay? And we often say it figuratively, like fuiste a un concierto y vienes con moratones. You've got bruises or black and blues everywhere. And you're like, look at my battle wounds, mis de guerra. You say the same thing. I've heard something similar, right? So wound. And to wound somebody is to hurt. So it's another way of saying to hurt somebody. But then you can't say, oh, como sustantivo no es igual. As a verb, it's the same. You can't say, look at your hurt. I would say, look at that wound, herida. Okay? So hurt, injure, or wound. But they're a little bit different, as I said, if we're talking about nouns, because then you have an injury, you have a boo-boo. Do you know what a boo-boo is? Lara does. Una pupa. Very similar, isn't it? Boo-boo. Oh, Papi, I got a boo-boo on my knee. A boo-boo. You got to know this stuff. And you know what I say there? I'm like, oh, my little boo. Boo es una forma de decir mi cariñito también. Que también es boo es boo, abuchear. Hey, this could be a quadruple trouble over here, right? So the two words are wound, first word. It's a regular verb. If it's used as a verb, excuse me, it's a regular verb, which means it ends in ed. The soldier was wounded in battle, right? He had wounds everywhere. And also you can wound somebody, you can hurt their feelings. It would be more common to say, you really hurt my feelings. Me heriste los sentimientos. So again, there are nuances between injury, wound, but there's the first word, wound, wound. Okay. The second one is wound. What? The hose is wound around the hook. Coiled, enrollado, bobinado. There was a, look, here, mira, te dan la misma. Estaba justo pensando en el jardín. There was a wound hose pipe, I would say hose, in the corner of the garden. Like think of a snake when it's in a circle like that, right? So do they sound the same? All right, so the first word is wound. The second word is wound. They are not homophones. Great job, Kubla and Laura. Excellent. They're not homophones. Yeah, that's what those are, those words like tear and tear, right? Record and record, where you can get many different spellings and it means something different. Minute, minute. Minute is pequeño, diminuto. Think about that. Diminuto, minute. Pero se escribe igual que minute. Entonces, si yo pongo la frase, give me a minute minute. Dame un minuto de minuto. It's almost a double trouble in Spanish, too. All right, so we've got to look at this here a little bit more in depth to understand it. So wound, we already looked at a little bit. But the word wound comes from the verb to wind. Dar cuerda, enrollar, right? Wind. So wind, wound, wound. He wound up his watch. It comes from wind. Que otro, ojo, no wind. Aunque se escriba igual, wind es viento and wind es dar cuerda. De ahí viene nuestra segunda palabra, wound. And we use it not just in algo que está enrollado, but listen to this. What did you wind up doing last night? We wound up ordering a couple pizzas. Acabamos haciendo tal cosa. So what did you wind up doing? And also, if I tell somebody, oh man, I'm just kidding. I was just winding you up. Now you're all wound up. Te estaba vacilando. Y ahora estás como alterado. So wound up. Excellent, excellent usage there. It's so much more than just, what's the word in Spanish? Enrollado, bobinado. So those words are not homophones. Congrats. Congrats to all of you who participated. All right. Well, we're going to move on right now to one of my favorite places in the whole wide world, the movies. Name that movie. That's right. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the Show with No Name. And here's where we take a look at a flick. And you want me to be honest with you? I am dying to go to the movies. I'm dying to have 2 hours where I don't have to unpack a box or edit some audio or prepare a script or, run around to the recycling center. I'm really looking forward to that. I just want 2 hours to see a movie. That's it. And with Indiana Jones coming out, I think I found my moment. Dun, 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 dun. Now we need to find a babysitter. See, life isn't as easy as it seems. But I always, as I told you yesterday, I look at that light at the end of the tunnel, but I try and enjoy the ride as well. Disfrutar del camino. All right, here's your movie. Excuse me. I've got a frog in my throat. You say un pollo? Elvis Presley and a black JFK stay in a nursing home where nothing happens until a wayward Egyptian mummy comes and sucks out the old people's souls through their anuses. The two decide to fight back. Yes, you heard right. Anus, anos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, I didn't write the movie. Don't shoot the messenger. So Elvis Presley, which, by the way, there's an FYI episode on him, and a black JFK. There's an episode on JFK as well. Not black JFK, just the regular one. They stay in a nursing home, un centro de mayores, a nursing home, where nothing happens, donde no suele pasar nada, until a wayward Egyptian mummy. Now let's pronounce the word Egyptian, egipcio, and wayward is incontrolable, caprichoso, unpredictable, right? Usually an unpredictable. So a wayward Egyptian mummy, momia, comes and sucks out the old people's souls. Chupa los almas. El alma. Yeah. Los almas. Nunca. Tenía que pensar si era masculino o femenino. So sucks out the old people's souls through, a través de, o por, their anuses. Yes, como has oído. The two decide to fight back. Okay, luchar en contra ellos, to retaliate. And we've got some winners. Please give it up for Kubla and Chris Valrol. That's right, folks. This is a movie that came out in the year 2002. It's called Bubba Ho-Tep, and it's kind of playing with that Egyptian Hotep thing. Bubba Ho-Tep. And even though Elvis is the main character in this movie, you won't hear any Elvis music. Well, the director decided that he couldn't afford it. And when he did the math, and his accountants, his bookkeepers, they told him, well, that's going to be half of your budget then. If you want Elvis songs in the movie, that's half of your budget, right? So, Las Almas. Me sonaba raro, Laura. Thank you. El alma, las almas. When I said Los Almas, I'm like, it doesn't sound right. El alma. Oh. And then you guys complain about English. Es que me voy a enfadar, eh? No, I'm joking. So, so he decided, he said, you know what? We don't need any Elvis music. We can tell the story without the music. And this is a great, too, because you know who's in this? Bruce Campbell. Do you guys know Bruce Campbell? He's the guy who's in Shaun of the Dead. All of these are great. I mean, he's Hot Fuzz. I don't know if you know these great Bruce Campbell, really funny actor. The Evil Dead, The Shining, right? Oh, no. The Shining, he wasn't. He gained notoriety when The Evil Dead beat out The Shining. So, yeah, this guy's an awesome horror actor, but the movies that he does are unorthodox horror movies, and I love them. I'm a huge fan of Bruce Campbell's work. I'm sure many of you are familiar with his stuff. It's off the wall. Es chiflado. Es loco. I mean, think about the premise there. They're sucking the souls out of old people's anuses. Like, hello? So Elvis says in this scene, here I was. I'm gonna do my Memphis, Tennessee accent, even though Elvis wasn't from Memphis. He was from Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo, kind of like a suburb down there, not in the center of Memphis, but he became famous over in Memphis. If you want to learn more about that, I'll recommend you listen to Alberto Alonso's FYI episode. All right, so he says, here I was complaining about loss of pride. Aquí estaba quejándome. Here I was complaining about loss of pride, pérdida del orgullo, and how life had treated me, y como la vida me ha tratado. And now I realized, me di cuenta, now I realized I never had any pride. Nunca tuve orgullo. So proud, orgulloso, pride is orgullo, right? And loss, be careful here, apunta estos. Loss, pérdida, L-O-S-S. Lose, L-O-S-E, perder. Lost, L-O-S-T, perdido. And loose, L-O-O-S-E, suelto. You don't know how many times I've seen students mix those up. Don't be one of them. I'll find you. I'll tell you. I will suck the soul out of, not Uranus. Hablando de Uranus, el planeta, you can listen to the episode, it came out pretty recently, the Milky Way episode, La Via Láctea. Lots of episodes of FYI. Remember to send me your suggestions, not here. You can send them to me on social media. So let me continue. And how much of life had treated me had been good, and how much of how life and how much of how life had treated me had been good. Y como me haya tratado la vida, la verdad realmente ha sido bueno, la mayoría. The bulk is la mayoría. Another way of saying it. In fact, if you buy things in bulk, compras caja, en vez de comprar, instead of buying one roll of toilet paper, you buy 75, right? So the bulk of the bad was my own damn fault. Fue mi propia jodida culpa, o damn, es para darle énfasis. I should have fired Colonel Parker by the time I got in the pictures. Debería haber echado. I should have fired, echado, Colonel Parker, who was his manager, by the time I got in the pictures. And in the pictures, they mean movies there. Old Fart had been a shark and a fool. And I was even a bigger fool for following him. An old fart es un viejo verde, un viejo. An old fart, sí. He'd been a shark. A shark is a predatory person. So if you're a loan shark, sale en el capítulo de Mafia, es estos prestamistas ilegales. Old Fart had been a shark and a fool. Y un tonto. And I was even a bigger fool for following him. If only I'd treated Priscilla right. Ojalá, si solo le hubiese tratado bien a su mujer, Priscilla Presley. If I could have told my daughter I loved her, si pudiese haber dicho a mi hija que la quiero. Always the questions, siempre las preguntas. Never the answers, nunca las respuestas. Always the hopes, siempre las esperanzas. Never the fulfillments. And fulfillment es realización, cumplimiento, ejecución de algo. All right, well, my amigos, we've got to go to, I can't believe it, our final commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to, I can't believe it, the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. We're coming to you live here on Vaughn Radio every single day, teaching you English and motivating you to keep learning, to keep laughing, and to keep enjoying the ride, disfrutando del camino. Also, if you're looking for courses, materials, or any English solution, go to our website, grupovaughn.com. You can pick up materials at our online bookshop, vaughntienda.com. And make sure you're following us all on social media. Follow Vaughn, follow Kyle, follow Tosh Pasqua, and what the hell? Follow me too. If learning English and having fun is your thing, well then you came to the right place. Vaughn Radio. And you can get all the episodes you may have missed wherever you listen to podcasts or by downloading the Vaughn Radio app. There's no wrong way to listen to Vaughn Radio. Just make sure you listen and you learn a little something new every single day. This is Vaughn Radio, and this is the show with no name. And it's time for Double Trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble only on the show with no name. And as you know, this is a section of the show where we put you to the test, as always. And, well, I think that happens in a lot of different sections. But here, I'm going to make sure you guys know all these double, triple, even quadruple meanings. And if you think about it, we've already looked at a few double or triple troubles all throughout the show, to be honest. All right, so here we go. Oh, and if you've listened to the Las Vegas episode of FYI, then you're going to know this one. See? There you go. There's a perk, un beneficio. If you're an FYI-er, it helps you be a show with no namer, and vice versa. Okay, te dije que no te quitaras la ropa hasta que llegásemos a la avenida principal. That's the place to do it, you know. So that's your double trouble over there. Okay. Te dije que no te quitaras la ropa hasta que llegásemos a la avenida principal. Okay. Again, if you know the Las Vegas episode of FYI, think about that because we look at it in that episode. Calling all high rollers. So much is at stake in this sizzling oasis known as Sin City. Whether you want to sink into slots, roll the dice, be dazzled by the spectacular shows and awesome attractions, or just blow off some steam, there's no place like it. Jackpot! We're going to cruise the strip and see the lavish lights of Las Vegas on today's FYI. Viva Las Vegas! Welcome to For Your Info.
En inglés.
You got it. That's right, folks. If you haven't listened to that episode, give it a listen. Las Vegas is a fascinating place. I'm sure even if you haven't been there, you've been there. It's like New York. Like everybody recognizes the main drag. Oh, there's another way of saying La Avenida Principal. The main drag. But it's not the one I'm looking for, unfortunately. All right. So let's see. Let's go on over to our chat room and we'll see if you guys were able to figure it out. All right. The translation was, te dije que no te quitaras la ropa hasta que llegásemos a la avenida principal. And what does that have to do with Las Vegas? Pues hay muchas avenidas principales, pero la de Vegas is famous. Many are. There's Hollywood too, Sunset. A lo mejor te ayuda ahí. Bueno, we'll take a look at it. Gaza. O sea, hay muchos franjas. All right, let's see. The first one to take a stab at it is Kubla. Let's see what you got for us here today, Kubla. And Kubla says, I told you not to strip until we got to the strip. Great job. And then we can order some chicken strips. Unas tiras de pollo. We can strip, cruise the strip and have some chicken strips. What do you think? So excellent job. I told you not to strip until we got to the strip. Let's see. Leonardo says, I told you not to strip until we get to the strip. There we go. Nice. Chris, I told you not to strip until we reach the strip. Excellent job. All three of you. And again, you got the strip, which is Las Vegas, but also you got Sunset Strip, Sunset Boulevard. Se llama Sunset Strip, the most famous part. You've got the Gaza Strip as well. So if you get the idea behind it, it makes sense. And I know you know the word strip, quitarte la ropa. ¿Cómo se dice si alguien se sienta encima de ti, se quita la ropa? It's called a striptease, right? So what do? They strip, se quitan la ropa, they tease you, te vacilan, right? So it's a strip tease. And I think probably the most famous strip, the most famous drag in the United States is the one in Vegas. In fact, it's called The Strip, okay? The one in Hollywood is Sunset Strip, but the other one is The Strip. So unless it's in context in the United States, oh, we're going to go cruise the strip, you're talking about your town, okay, la avenida principal. But if you're not talking about it in context, then it can easily be the strip in Las Vegas. The one and only, el mismísimo. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and so you got chicken strips as well, strips of bacon. Think about that. Makes sense. Again, son tiras, son trozos, son franjas. They're like long, elongated pieces of something. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful job to all of you. Also, I've got to give you the Say What soundbite again. This is the Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time.
Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted, keys. Here are my keys. Here's my American Express card. Here's my Bloomingdale's credit card. Here's my checkbook. I've taken $2,000 out of our savings account because that's what I had in the bank when we first got married.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And it's time for our next section. It's You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking only on the show with no name. And here's where I tell you some jokes, and we see if you get these jokes or not. All right, are you ready? Here we go, my amigos. Now, these jokes are all, they're kind of horror-based. Ooh, let's get an ominous looming sound. What do you call a zombie that doesn't joke around? Que no bromea. And look at the pronunciation there. You say thumbie. We say zombie. Zombie, hey, what's in your head? Zombie. So if you're going to pronounce it in English, pronounce it in English. What do you call a zombie that doesn't joke around? Easy. He's dead serious. No? A zombie, like Walking Dead. That's the sound they make, right? So what do you call a zombie that doesn't joke around? He's dead serious. To be dead serious, well, zombies are dead. We already know that. Or undead, as they call them. And if somebody's dead serious, no estoy bromeando. So if somebody gives you some news and you're like, no way, no me digas eso. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, no estoy bromeando para nada. To be dead serious. We use it pretty often. I know in the United States we use it. So what do you call a zombie that doesn't joke around? Easy. Dead serious. Okay. Do you know where zombies live? Where do zombies live? On dead-end streets. And they have dead-end jobs. No? A dead-end street, un callejón sin salida, cul-de-sac, a dead end. So they live on dead-end streets. They have dead-end jobs, trabajo sin salida. And then when they go to the hairdresser, they go have the dead ends removed. Los puntos en el pelo, a veces at the end, the hair dies and you got to cut it and it grows again. Dead ends or split ends, se llaman también. Okay. Last one, I promise. Let's see if you get it. This is a statement. So it's a pun. There's no punchline. It's just one statement. Don't give zombies a piece of your mind. Don't give them a piece of your mind. Who can tell me the two meanings of a piece of your mind? You get it? If I say I gave the zombie a piece of my mind. Now, obviously, it's literally un trozo de mi mente. Well, zombies eat brains, right? Some of them eat souls out of anuses. So how would you translate that? I gave the zombie a piece of my mind. Ahora, literalmente, le di un trocito de mi mente, de mi cerebro, para que se lo comiera. But it's an expression in English. To give somebody a piece of your mind is to tell them exactly what you think. To chew them out, echarles una bronca. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. This is the third time this has happened, right? So to give somebody a piece of your mind, I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. I'm pissed off right now. Okay, a piece of my mind, which usually it's not a positive thing. Okay, my mind. Let's see, a piece of my mind. Oh no, yeah, a piece of my mind. Let's see. No, it's not giving me this one. So a piece, let's see. This is easy because when word reference doesn't get it, Google does. To give someone a piece of your mind, to speak angrily with someone about something they've done wrong. I'm going to give the mechanic a piece of my mind if this car's not fixed. This is the third time. So again, a lot of you guys are putting what you're thinking, but like really what you're thinking. You don't hold back, okay? No te contienes. You tell them really what you're thinking. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. Like, ya está. It means you're fed up, and now you're going to tell them exactly. You're going to chew them out. Echar una bronca, which is very different than to have peace of mind. So, vamos a mirar estos, and then we'll move on. So, I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. Te voy a decir lo que pienso y no te va a gustar, okay? A piece of my mind. Eso es trozo. But if you tell somebody, I'm looking for peace of mind, peace como paz, que se pronuncian igual, estoy buscando tranquilidad. I always think of those, the insurance commercials. Do you want peace of mind? Sure, we all do. With our alarm system, right? ¿Quieres la tranquilidad, paz mental? Do you want peace of mind? So that one could have been a joke on so many levels. All right, amigos, I hope you enjoyed our corny jokes, and I hope you're ready to celebrate in today's famous birthday trivia. Famous birthdays for you.
Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And Chris, yes, absolutely. She says it's exactly what our Say What soundbite woman did. Yeah. She's giving that guy a piece of her mind. Se acabó. Aquí hasta aquí hemos llegado. So excellent, Chris. I love how you found that there in that context and related it to our Say What soundbite. It would be a perfect way to describe the Say What soundbite. But since we learned it after, Well, next time. All right. Also, we say to chew somebody out, right? To chew somebody out. Okay. All right. So let's take a look over here at our famous birthday boys and girls. This first person reminds us that girls just wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have. They just wanna. Also, she's got time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. You guys, time after time. And she's got so many amazing songs, not just those, but I see your true colors. Veo como eres de verdad. And a great one that I really love is the one from the Goonies. Good love is good love. Good love is good enough for me. And what a unique artist. And I'll never forget, she was one of the first artists I ever saw. And I saw her in the movie, not in the movie, in the video for the Goonies with the song Good Enough. Oh, what a great song. Well, she's just an amazing, extremely talented artist. And, her songs, even though she's not really making music these days, she's made some of the greatest songs ever heard on any radio anywhere. Number 2, this man was born in 1958. He is best known for playing Ash Williams in the Evil Dead horror franchise. He's been in many cult films as well. He's like the most famous B actor in horror movies. So he's the guy. And he was in Maniac Cop. He was also in Bubba Hotep, which was today's Name That movie. And he's been in so many amazing movies. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. Oh man, that's a great stuff. He also had a cameo in Spider-Man, the Spider-Man film series. Really, I think a talented dude who found his role playing that guy in these wacky horror films. And last but not least, this person, I've heard a lot of people pronounce her last name. They pronounce the word strip, and it's not. So they pronounce the word strip the way you pronounce her last name. Perdóname, he hecho un lío ahí. So a lot of you guys would say, "Are you going to streep?" And it's not streep, it's strip. Strip, right? So I just told you her last name. What actress has the last name Streep? Que vimos la palabra strip hoy, es otra palabra, right? All right, let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Chris Valrol. Nice one. Number 1, Cyndi Lauper. Number 2, Bruce Campbell. And the one and only Meryl Streep, who doesn't like to strip in movies. Es una forma de acordarte que no se pronuncia igual. And this is from a movie she was in called Kramer versus Kramer. This is a movie about a divorce. It stars Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, it's a classic. Oh, and Christina's telling us it's another novel. I didn't know it was a novel. And this is Joanna. She's fed up, as you guys said. She's finally, got the courage and the guts to say, I'm done with you, man. I am done with you. And she's giving him a piece of her mind, as someone said, I think, Laura, very calmly. Oh, no, giving somebody a piece of your mind. This is exactly how I feel. You don't have to, you're angry, but you don't have to show anger. You're really like poniendo los puntos sobre las IES con alguien. You're really clearing things up, okay? So she says, Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted? And he's not even paying attention. He goes, keys. Here are my keys. Aquí tienes mis llaves. Keys or kiss? Kiss, beso, keys, llaves. Here's my American Express card, or Amex as we call it. Here's my Bloomingdale's credit card. Again, that's like a Corte Inglés. It doesn't exist anymore as far as I know. Here's my checkbook. Talonero. You have checks, talones. I've taken $2,000 out of our savings account, nuestra cuenta de ahorros, because that's what I had in the bank when we first got married. All right, so let's hear the one and only Meryl Streep.
Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted, keys. Here are my keys. Here's my American Express card. Here's my Bloomingdale's credit card. Here's my checkbook. I've taken $2,000 out of our savings account because that's what I had in the bank when we first got married.
All right, folks, time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And I just want to thank you guys really, really from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't ask for better students. You're motivated, you're funny, you're fun, funny, gracioso, fun, divertido. And I thank you for learning English with me, among other things, every single day, and for laughing and singing with me. And speaking of singing, I want you guys to sing with me over here. This is an amazing song, and I'm sure you guys will know it. It's Cyndi Lauper. And if you fall, I will catch you. Will be waiting time after time. So let's take a look at the lyrics together, and then we can sing it. It's Google it. So this way it gives you time to look at it. She says, lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. Oigo el tic-tac del reloj y pienso en ti. Caught up in circles, atrapada, atascada, en un círculo, en un círculo. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights, almost left behind. So confusion is nothing new. Flashback, cuando ves algo del pasado. Warm nights, noches calurosas de calor. Almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Una maleta lleno de recuerdos. Time after time. Sometimes you picture me. A veces te imaginas de mí. I'm walking too far ahead. Voy demasiado por delante. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you said. Me estás llamando, pero no te oigo. Then you say, go slow. Y me dices, ralentiza. And I fall behind. Y me quedo atrás. I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you fall, I will catch you and be waiting time after time. So the second hand unwinds. Hey, you know that one. Dar cuerda, to wind, to unwind, que también significa if you're going to unwind, that's what you do when you take a vacation. I'm going to unwind, desestresar. And I hope this show helped you unwind a little bit. Maybe you woke up a little wound up, alterado, but hopefully you wound up having a good time. Acabaste pasándolo bien. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay tuned for the amazing Ximena Holiday and her program, Test Your English. Thanks, amigos. You fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting.